Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're getting into the absolutely roller coaster career of Formula One driver Sergio Checo Pérez. It's a story that's not just about raw speed, it's really about pure, uncut resilience.
So picture this. The 2024 season comes to an end, and it was a rough one for Checo. And then, this news drops. After 4 years at the very top with Red Bull, he's suddenly out. No seat. For a lot of us watching, it really felt like, well, that's it. That's the end of the road for him in F1.
But here's the thing about Checo Pérez. His exit from Red Bull, that's just the latest chapter in a much bigger book. To really get what happened, we've got to go back. We have to look at this whole wild ride of a career, which is filled with these incredible highs, some really tough breaks, and one defining theme, constantly fighting his way back from the brink.
Okay, so let's rewind all the way back to 2011. Sergio Pérez makes his Formula One debut with Sauber, and he comes in with some pretty significant sponsorship money from Mexico. Now, in the F1 paddock, that immediately gets you a certain label, and it's not always a good one. People started calling him a paid driver.
And what that really implies, right, is that your money got you the seat, maybe more than your actual talent did. But Checo, he didn't just push back on that idea. He absolutely demolished it. I mean, in his very first race, he did something that blew everyone's minds. He managed his tires so well that he only needed one pit stop. That's something that even seasoned veterans on the grid couldn't pull off.
But 2012, wow, that was his real breakout year. This is only his second season, and he takes this Sauber, which is a solid midfield car at best, and turns it into an absolute giant killer. He was literally hunting down Fernando Alonso in a Ferrari for the win in Malaysia, and then he goes and grabs an unbelievable second place at Monza. It was crystal clear, this guy's talent was the real deal.
So yeah, that whole paid driver label, totally gone. Boof. He was now the Mexican wonderkind. He was this master of strategy, this tire whisperer, who could somehow take a car that had no business being up there and drag it onto the podium. His stock in the F1 world had never been high.
And of course, a performance like that gets you noticed by the big teams. He lands the opportunity of a lifetime, a contract with the legendary McLaren team. And not just any seat, he was filling the one left empty by Lewis Hamilton himself. Talk about huge shoes to fill.
But that dream move, well, it pretty quickly turned into a total nightmare. The 2013 McLaren was, to put it mildly, not a good car. And on top of that, as you can see from what Damon Hill said here, it just wasn't a good fit. It seems like there was this huge cultural clash. The team saw his laid-back style and thought he wasn't trying, but they just didn't get him.
So, after just one season, they dropped him. Just like that, he was out. This was a massive blow. A brutal, public fall from the top that honestly, for a lot of drivers, would have been the end of their F1 career right then and there.
But again, this is Checo Pérez we're talking about. Instead of packing it in, he finds a new home at Force India, the team we later know as Racing Point. And this move kicked off this long 7-year journey of him basically rebuilding his entire career and reputation from scratch.
His teammate there was Nico Hülkenberg, who was a really highly rated driver. And what's amazing is how evenly matched they were. Hülkenberg often had the edge in qualifying. He was seen as the more consistent guy over one lap. But Perez had this other gear, this special knack for something else.
And this right here became his superpower. He might not have always been the fastest guy over a single lap, but Checo had this almost supernatural ability to make sense of a chaotic race. When the top team slipped up even a little bit, he was right there to snatch a podium. It's how he earned the title, the undisputed king of the midfield.
But Formula One can be an incredibly cruel sport. You'd think after all those years of consistent, giant-killing performances, he'd be secure, right? Nope. At the end of 2020, he finds out he doesn't have a drive for the next season. His own team had signed the 4-time world champion Sebastian Vettel, and just like that, Checo was left out in the cold.
And then came the Sakir Grand Prix. I mean, you couldn't write a better script. His F1 journey looks like it's over. The race starts, and on the very first lap, he gets hit, spun around, and drops to dead last. 18th place. Game over, right? What happened next was just one of the most incredible comeback drives you will ever see, culminating in his first ever Grand Prix victory.
It was a win that was so remarkable, so perfectly timed, that it literally changed everything. It led directly to the biggest call of his career. On the other end of the line, Red Bull Racing, offering him a contract to partner Max Verstappen.
So now Checo signed up for what many people call one of the toughest jobs, not just in F1, but in all of professional sports,
being the teammate to a generational talent like Max Verstappen, in a team that is, let's be honest, completely built around him.
And for a while, he was brilliant at it. He delivered 5 impressive wins. He played a crucial role in Red Bull's championships. I mean, who can forget that legendary defense against Lewis Hamilton in Abu Dhabi back in 2021? That move was absolutely instrumental in helping Max win his very first world title.
But with those amazing highs came some really crushing lows. The pressure, the sheer, relentless pressure of being Max Verstappen's teammate, it eventually just seemed to take its toll. His form dropped off a cliff, and that bad run of form ultimately played a part in Red Bull losing a championship and in Checo losing his seat.
When we look back at his legacy, though, a huge part of it has to be his mastery of street circuits. The data here is just fascinating. Check this out. Street circuits, the tight, twisty, unforgiving ones, they make up less than 17% of the races he's ever done, but they account for a whopping 30% of his podiums. That tells you something, right? These are the tracks where pure driver skill can make all the difference, and man, did he prove that time and time again.
And then, in a final twist that is just so perfect for his career, just when we all thought, okay, this time it's really over, the news breaks. He's coming back. He's going to be spearheading the brand new Cadillac F1 project when they join the grid in 2026.
So it really leaves you with one final thought. Sergio Pérez's career has never, ever been a straight line. It's been this constant cycle of what feel like devastating setbacks, followed by the most stunning comebacks. It just goes to show you that in the cutthroat world of Formula One, resilience can be the most powerful weapon of all.
Your course, a cat at fire.